Hi, this is Benjamin, founder of Farmagain. How many liters of water is required per coconut tree per day? This is a $1 million question debated by farmers in Pollachi, farmers in Madurai, in Tirunelveli, or even if you go to the university, this is a topic that is being discussed. But each farmer from different places, they have a different number. Why is the number different? First of all, is that number uh, giving in terms of number of liters per day per tree, is it even scientific? Let's look at that. Now, why do you give water to a plant? There are two main reasons. One, there is water escaping from the tree through the process of transpiration during photosynthesis. So you'll have to obviously compensate for that loss of moisture from the plant. Second, the plants have got their own oxygen and hydrogen requirement, and we know they synthesize these two non-minerals from water. Therefore, for these two reasons, you have to supply water to the plant. Now, the next question is we often talk about air water balance. That means you maintain similar moisture for all kinds of plants. Then the next question is, so do you give same amount of water to, let's say, tomato as much as to coconut to maintain the same moisture? That is where it gets a little interesting. Look at the biomass. Biomass is basically the leaves and the other parts of the plant, right? Together it is called biomass. Now, as the biomass increases, so for a tomato plant, the biomass is very less. So the transpiration is less, the oxygen hydrogen requirement is lesser. Therefore, the water lost by the plant is less. So the amount of water it takes is also less. So you have to replenish with less water. On the other hand, if you take plantations, bigger plants like coconut and other crops, biomass is so huge, so the transpiration loss is quite high. Their own oxygen and hydrogen requirement is quite high. Therefore, the ratio of water that these bigger plants uptake is much larger than the smaller ones. Therefore, obviously, the water at the root zone will vanish much quicker with the bigger plants. So, it requires more replenishment. Therefore, naturally, the bigger plants take more water, you give more water. Smaller ones take less water, so you give less water. Now, is it really practical, possible, or is it fine to go with the assumption of number of liters per day per plant? Well, there is a better way, which is where Grotron's artificial intelligence helps, where it actually looks at the soil parameters, ambient parameters, and makes an assessment as to when and how long an irrigation has to be administered, and it does it. So, do we have to go for guesswork? I think no. Technology can help.